All right, so we're going to click here on this document. And remember, when you do that, it goes down here to download. You're going to open it. Now, a lot of you guys have been sending me these when you complete them. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you save this first so it continues to quick save, and that you change the name of it so that you don't get the two confused. So we're going to go immediately. I'm going to make this full screen. We're going to go immediately up here to File, Save As. Because if we just click Save, it's just going to continue to save there to our downloads as making applesauce, and that's not helpful. If something happens to our MacBook, then something's going to happen to that file if they have to wipe your computer clean. So we're going to go here to our OneDrive and go to your computers folder. And you're going to go up here where it says making and add your initials. So AC, edit, applesauce, whatever. And again, some of you guys have your own way of saving, so that is fine as well, as long as applesauce is in the title there. All right. One thing we noticed when we first opened this is our page margins. We're gonna be basically formatting a recipe. So we want our recipe to try and stay on one page, and right now it's on 2 pages. So if you don't have your rulers viewed, go to View and check Ruler. Okay, and then you can see this gray area. So our top margin is really big. Also, some of you guys, for some reason, sometimes your Word documents are opening up where your text is at the very top and it's not showing you your page margins. The way to fix that is to hover your mouse up here and double click. And then you see your page margins. All right, so we're going to go to Layout, Margins, and we're going to change it to narrow. All right. We are also going to mess with the spacing here. So the first thing we want to do is go to our home ribbon and turn on our formatting marks. Remember, guys, these are non-printable marks. You can only see them here. So if I even went ahead and printed it in this view, I wouldn't see these dots, and these dots mean that I hit space, and these guys mean I've hit enter. So the difference between have and different here, where it's just got that space, and applesauce and description, is I actually hit enter between those two. All right, so our spacing right now, it looks like it's a double space. So let me explain how the spacing works here real quick as we do this. So we're going to do Command A to select all. We're going to go up here to our line spacing button. The number of spaces kind of goes back to when people actually worked on a typewriter. So that's where you have to kind of think about it, or it's confusing otherwise. So when I have 2 spaces, I essentially have 1 space in between my lines. So that's more for editing. So like right here, when you write a paper, oftentimes your teachers will have you double space something, and that's why it looks like that. So we're going to change everything to single space. So single space essentially means there is no space in between your lines. Again, what that has to deal with is how many times you pressed enter. So, or turned the wheel on the keyboard, on the typewriter, because that's kind of what they did. So after applesauce here, between applesauce and description, I hit enter 1 time, so it's what we call a single space. Here between our title and ingredients, I hit enter twice. That's why it's called a double space. So when you are writing letters, typically between where it says sincerely and then your name, people will have you do a quadruple space. So you would then have 3 of these paragraph marks in between those 2. I know, it gets kind of confusing. All right, so while we have this in this view, we're also going to change our font size and our font type. So again, make sure everything is selected by Command A. We're going to go up here and choose Book Antiqua, and we're going to make our font size 11. All right, so I think it's easiest to change everything first, and then you can go back and kind of modify the name of your, or like one or two different fonts. All right, so we're going to adjust the title here. So right now everything is selected. So sometimes you just click where something isn't selected to deselect. Okay, so now you should just have kind of a blinking cursor. So I'm going to hover my mouse up here where it says making applesauce and triple click. All right, I'm going to center my text, bold it, make it size 14. I'm going to get rid of this 1 too. All right, we want this text to look a little fancy, so we're going to go up here and triple click, and we're going to change it to all caps, so uppercase. Then we're going to choose this button. It says text effects. So text effects makes it kind of look like a word art if you've ever messed with a word art, but it's like embedded in your text. So you can't move it like you can a word art. You can, like you can text, but it's not like a picture you can move. And just because I choose this one doesn't mean I'm stuck with those colors. Let me show you how to change those. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So first of all, to change like the color of my text, I'm going to go here to my font and change it to red. Then to do anything else, I'm going to go here. So the outline is if I wanted to add an outline, say I wanted my outline to be black. Okay, right now my outline is kind of taking over my text. I might need to rethink that, but and then a shadow just kind of gives it a little bit off to the side there, and you can change the color of your shadow down here under shadow options. Same thing with your reflection and with your glow as well. All right, I'm going to change the color of my outline, maybe to a lighter red. Okay, so I'm good with that. You can change yours to look however you want, and then I always like to change the font of it. Sometimes I don't always love. There are so many choices here. I could spend hours trying to choose something. I'm just going to choose this. Ooh, it's too small. There we go. All right. I'll stick with that. And maybe I'll make it 60. That you can choose whatever you want there for your title. What we're going to do is select our sections, so like our headings here, so that way they stand out and kind of guide the reader through our recipe. So I'm going to triple click where it says ingredients. We're going to bold, and we're going to choose a thick underline. Just FYI, in on your PC, you can also change the color of your underline and change our font color to red. Then let's change the font to Century Gothic. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to use the Format Painter. So what this does is it copies and pastes your formatting. Now, if I only wanted to do this one time, I would just click the Format Painter one time after I have selected what it is that I want to copy. So if I kind of hover my mouse, it's not giving me, is it? Okay, so it says copy formatting from one location and apply it to another. So if I double click it, then I can I can copy this and paste it in multiple locations, and then I have to turn it off. So this is where it gets a little sticky, is you have to make sure that you select what it is that you want to copy first, the formatting you want to copy first. So here's my ingredients. That's what I want to copy. I'm going to go up here and quickly double click the Format Painter. So now notice that my mouse has here, I'm going to move it up here, stick with the paintbrush. So I'm going to click and swipe across description, go down my page, click and swipe across preparation directions, go down my page. So I'm 2-finger moving up, like along my Word document. And I'm going to do the same thing to optional. And release, and then turn off my format painter. Now, you have the choice. If that is too confusing, typically, again, when I'm teaching this, I'm right there to where I can kind of help guide you and show you what you're doing wrong. But that's not the case today. So if you would like to just go ahead and change each of them. But that's what the format painter does. So it copies formatting and pastes it in different locations. All right, so now we're going to clean up our Word document. So we're going to kind of clean up our spaces and make it look consistent. So between our section headings and our text, we want that to be a single space. So again, what that means is we need to get rid of this space so we only have one enter. So, or no spaces in between the lines. So I treat these paragraph marks like text. So I'm just going to select it, hit delete. Now, between one section and another section heading, I want a double space. So I'm going to click enter one more time between applesauce and description, and then select the paragraph mark between description and apples and hit delete. I will leave this one here. Select the paragraph mark between prep and use, hit delete. Now, optional is a little messed up. So I'm going to click here before homemade and press enter. And then I'm going to get rid of this double space too. So I'm going to hit delete there. I'm going to click before the B in but and press delete to get rid of that paragraph mark there. All right. For the but some people add, we're going to triple click that, underline it, and italicize it. Just to kind of make it stand out a little bit. All right. Great. All right, we're going to go over alignment real quick. So I'm going to zoom out. I'll just kind of pinch my fingers there so you can see my Word document here. All right. I'm going to go up here where it says just apples to varieties. And I'm just going to hover my mouse somewhere in that paragraph and triple click. And it is right now, it is what we call left aligned. So it's forming a line on the left of our page. We want that text to be justified. So center, all that does is just find the center of your page and plops your text there. And it doesn't have any effect. It doesn't pay any attention to our margins here, the text on the margins. So if you notice here and here, it doesn't form a line with our text. So we don't want it to be centered and we don't want it to be right aligned. We want it to be left and right aligned. So we're going to choose justify. What justify does essentially is it adds spaces in between your text to spread it out or shrink it a little bit so that your text, your lines form a line along the margins. This is a really short kind of paragraph to show that to you with, but so like here, if I select note to applesauce and justify it, see how it kind of spaces this out between some apples are, because before that, when I left aligned it, making ended here. So it's not, there's not enough room to put applesauce, so it's still going to wrap it to the next line. However, if I put a space there, which that's how it should be, then it puts apple up there and sauce there. But when I justify it, see, it just kind of spreads out my words a little bit more. It just kind of cleans up your page though a little bit. All right, we're going to do the same thing to descriptions. So let's just go ahead and triple click and click justify.